we are always tested within the space of interpersonal relationship. Was when I realized that beneath that surface, beneath that, anger was the vulnerability that I have not touched because I've been tough all this while. I was a private crier. When things happen, of course, you see it in my face. I'll go into the room to cry. But then I became the one crying with this person, crying all the time, wondering why, and then by the time I encountered the vulnerability, it didn't become about him anymore. It became another data of what was this telling me. And then when we understand that the intrapersonal, the interpersonal, the cultural, and the systemic all need to heal, we can begin to see how they are interconnected. That's the work of iAfrica, And for iAfrica to do that, we are not just doing intellectual conversation. We are doing embodied healing. You got to come and meditate. You got to come and do movements. You got to come and learn tools to process that anger, that grief, that shame, that guilt. You got to understand where it's coming from so that if you are with another person and things are not going well, you are still able to have conversation instead of reaction. And you're still able to talk instead of projecting. And if you are projecting, you are able to see quickly what might be going on there. Because it's all about making this relationship better. And if we understand that, we can be able to see them we have. They are toxic the way they are and dysfunctional because we are punishing one another. We are not talking to one another.
Absolutely.
We are not beholding one another. We are so divided. So all of that together causes us as well to hang on as Africans who taught us to, because we sit on this, who taught us to hate ourselves. Because we sit with this hatred. And unless now, the way I speak to myself within my head, then if I'm listening, I can see, oh no, that, And then with that biased mind, with that stereotype, then if you are a conscious person, you can ask yourself, who taught me this?
Yeah.
Is this even healthy? And you can do that without guilting yourself, without judging yourself, but showing yourself compassion. So iAfrica just realized that, embody healing is the way. Embody healing will let us see how we are hurting each other. And how we're going to do that is by bringing tools that are holistic, strategies that are holistic, and resources that are holistic to do this kind of work. Yeah. Whoa. Thank you for asking
incredible.
that question. And I know that we have the same alchemists that we admire, Professor Funmi Olonishakin of African Leadership Center. I recalled when, after that murky sadness of the brain, and I was coming out of it, and this idea was now, crystallizing. I was talking to her about it, and I've not formulated it well, but I was talking to her about it, and she was like, you are doing what I'm aimed to do, bringing praxis to theory and doing this work. And she was so fascinated by the idea that I was like, oh, I think I've cracked some code somewhere. But going beyond that is, with African Leadership Center and our peace and security study, it wasn't really traditional in a sense. It was traditional and contemporary. And within that space, it was us daring to question, daring to think critically, daring to bring critical consciousness to our approach and how we understand. And you and I were in a system where Afrofeminism was part of the lens to unpack things. And the African feminists aren't sitting down. They've done a lot of work of cracking the code of why some of these things aren't working. So it's like we have that background of people who have continued or begun to do the work, who are calling us to now think differently or think deeper. And I think that helped as well. That legacy helped, that feminist legacy helped, that understanding around my, Gypsy Orisha exploration across the world helped, uncovering a lot of things, discovering a lot of things. In fact, Professor Fumi said one time, I said, Toyin's PhD was actually a journey of self-discovery. Yeah. It's not more of an academic, you know? Of course, I still did the PhD and got my certification, but yeah. And to remind you of how, and I'll still answer this question, but I want to bring one more person into this conversation.
True.
Professor Corey Wielianga. I was our first PhD student, and by that time, Dr. Ruth had joined us as well. So when she was supervising the two of us, she still had the time. I don't know how our time is now, but she listened, and I'm sure she continues to listen. She will listen to individuals' needs. Like, she knows I do all of this healing work. And if I am agitated about something, or I have writer's block, she will be like, Toyin, have you used one of your tools? She'll be like, perhaps, why don't you travel, go somewhere and come back? And then your supervisor telling you to travel because you have writer's block. Exactly. I didn't even have a traditional, supervisor. Who's like, why don't you come back? Then I come back and I'm flowing. And I'm like, oh, she got me. If I'm doing presentation and I'm calm, she'll go like, that presentation, you really did it, like my proposal presentation. You did it so calmly. What happened? I was like, oh, I meditated before I left this one. She was like, oh, keep doing that, because she could see the outcome of all of the things I was doing. So I was already gathering data, seeing that in so many places as well, within these traditional security spaces, there are a lot of questions being asked. Part of what Professor Fumi did was asking us to question the peace-building mechanism, peacemaking mechanism, and peacekeeping mechanism. And by the time we were questioning that, conflict transformation came up, and we're like, oh, this is enriching. This is more holistic than, other form of peace mechanisms. And by the time I was packaging my PhD, I've already situated myself to go through an embodied way of doing peace and security. And I think for many of us as well, part of what had never made sense was the nation building, the concept of nationalism, the division that kept on existing within that framework. And the way that you see that peacekeepers, of course, they stopped the conflict, but they've left the place in disarray. And that continued to manifest into something else, that now they will go and be peacekeeping later. And all of these things unresolved in a way that is holistic, in a way that rebuilds the society long term. So this gives me an idea to be like, let me go and do this work differently. Yeah. But what really now became a very surprising discovery for me too was that I could do it within a space of restorative healing. Yeah? So because the restorative healing framework is something Africa is still unpacking, is our uncovering of, yes, restorative healing. And this is still a peace and security framework, but that is doing this within, conflict transformation, healing justice, Afrofeminism, Ubuntu, and neuroscientific approaches. You see? So that kind of package now it became what we're going with. Yeah. Yes.
Toyin, your life and your work has and continues to inspire me. It reminds me that we just have to do the things that sort of light our lives on fire, and we will eventually get to where we're supposed to be going. Because I feel like so many times I am anxious about, where is this taking me? I'm anxious about the fact that I don't have a 5-year plan. I'm anxious about the fact that we don't know, who's going to blow up who next, literally at this very moment in time. And the fact that I mentioned early in a previous conversation that I don't necessarily have we both have people that are incredible reference points along the way. And I am so grateful to have you as one of my reference points. To just know that even in the times when it feels like it's not going to work out, it's also
it's been a journey
out.
And I'm not going to lie to you. It's really been a journey. And part of what's been a journey is, let's go back to Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if his name is pronounced Tolle, but I prefer the Tolle. So, like, the power of now. All of these things happening in the world kind of take us away from living in the moments. We hardly live in the moments. And that's part of what you call us to do, living in the moments. So as much as I can, I live in the moments. And part of what I recognized when I was doing my PhD, I was at the University of Pretoria, and I had to do assistant lecturing, and I was, supporting in international relations teaching. And during the international relations classes, I will have to go and read about current affairs. And before I was done with that semester, I knew I would not be teaching this course. It's too much. It's too much current affairs. Like, you are there reading about all of these, the world is not safe. And it's not, in all. And the thing is, I started asking then that why don't we remember in the moment what is happening? Like, I will be in the place, seeing a lot of people having fun, talking, but that never makes the news. People dancing, that never makes the news. So we heighten this, we give this energy a lot. And that energy continue to reproduce because we are sending a lot of anger, a lot of, a lot of sadness into the world. And I've told you I'm the moon. And being the moon means that I can hijack, and I'm sensitive. I can hijack people's frequency and energy. And sometimes I'm sad, and it's not because I'm sad, it's just because somebody is sad and I've tapped into that frequency, and there I am. So part of my boundary system is I choose the news I watch right now, like the political content, the sensitive content. I've had to reset all of that online. When people send me news suddenly and they do not give me context for it. If they don't give me context for it, I ask, what's this about? And if it's something that is jarring, I'll tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to watch it. Because I still get news. It's not like I am not within society, but I'm selective now about what I do. And being selective doesn't mean I am indifferent to what is going on. I'm so aware, and I am positioning myself for solution as well. And the solution is not because I don't know what's going on, but the solution is because I have the wisdom and the embodied healing work that I've done to be able to redirect us if we need to, and to work with other people who are ready for this, And part of that, if I may, Alan Watts' video, that was this video of his that I watched when he was trying to remind us what the word is about. To him, the word is a playful thing. I think Osho said the same thing. Where we're supposed to be joyful. It's not a destination. You are not arriving anywhere. Dance, play. But we forgot all of that. We're too serious. In fact, doing a PhD made me too serious. At some point I was even questioning, am I a healing practitioner? Because I have all of these, pontificating way of doing things. But it's playful. We forget to dance. We forget to breathe. We forget to laugh. We forget to be in the moment. Look at the kind of words we use as well. We use words like, we are seizing the moment. We are conquering the world. What are you conquering? You are to collaborate with the universe. It's a collaborative energy.
Yeah.
You are not a conqueror. It's not to be conquered. You see? And then you are seizing. What are you seizing? Dance with the moment. Dance with the universe. Do that. So, and all of that is making me see that it's sad that we have leaders whose energy is so chaotic at this point in time, and they are autopiloting and causing more chaos because they do not breathe. They do not have a moment to just stop what they are doing, to even invite rest into their life. I don't know if you read the work of Tricia Hassey. I love her work on rest. Is the rest as resistance. Is a manifesto for resting. I may not be saying the book title correctly now, but in that book, she was telling us to check how we give our energy to capitalism, to productivity, to the grind culture. It's so bad that, instead of going into the forest to take oxygen in, to dance, we are cutting all the trees and, building, more skyscrapers. They are up. We are gentrifying everywhere. So what that means as well is we are not in the moment. We're like, we're achieving. Let's achieve. Let's do this. We have all of that. We don't rest. And rest is important. We don't sleep. And part of the grind culture tells us that it's only when we die that we will sleep. Why? Please go and rest. Go and sleep. Go and rejuvenate. Go and talk to your nervous system. Go and love someone. Get a pet. And I'm a mother of 2 cats. I'm a parent of 2 cats. I love my family. And I call them my family. Parents for cat paws and family. And these two, the way like they regulate my nervous system because we share this space together gives me, the kind of ease that I need in the moment and reminds me to be compassionate to other lives. But we forget all of that because we are disconnecting ourselves from the source of life that we are. We externalize our divinity. We don't remember the divinity within. And once you don't do all of that, it's easy for you to just go on rampage like the world is going on now. And I'm like, these people think starting World War III is the solution. It's not. We're just practically fighting ourselves. And when you go to the heart of it, it makes absolutely no sense. And these are the people who they call themselves the logical gender. Do you get? So, and what's happening right now is so illogical because you are disconnecting so much from your own self. You are disconnecting so much from nature. You are seeing nature as things to conquer. You are seeing people as things to use. You are seeing animals as things to kill. All of that is just too chaotic. You are not neutralizing. You are not coming to a place of balance and groundedness. And that for me is where I am landing. I want to leave, there is a quote that I saw by Wasan Shah. You might have heard of it before. It's a poem that says, later that night, I had an atlas in my lap, ran my fingers across the whole world and whispered, where does it hurt? It answered, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Because we're hurting ourselves everywhere. And now, another one that I kind of like is what Yoko Ono said. Healing yourself is connected with healing others. So if you are healing yourself, it's connected to healing others. All of us have to remember that. Because killing others is connected to killing yourself. So healing yourself, exactly. So it's bringing that back. And the last thing that's giving me a little bit of hope as we continue to position ourselves in the way we heal ourselves, in the way we tender to our mind and heart, in the way we pay attention to our own triggers, and in the way we do co-regulation, in interdependence, and collective accountability, is to remember what Arundhati Roy said. Another word is not only possible. She's on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. And that quietness is what we need to do. Can we all be quiet for a moment so we can hear that new word on the horizon breathing? And we can all do it together if only we allow ourselves to be ready for it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yourself.
Thank you for the thank you for the invitation. And I want to thank you for being my heart tribe supreme leader and in the various ways you've supported iAfrica, because you are a board member, even though you've not talked about that. And being a board member and a well-positioned, soulful person, light worker, part of what you have brought to that space is understanding the depth of that, what that work is about, that many people who are not on this journey with us might not understand. So thank you for supporting us the way that is necessary and the way we need and the way that we don't even know that we need. So I want to thank you for that. And look, I want to be back on this podcast. If not, we've not explored everything. I know.
Thank you. With that, I am going to close this conversation. I, again, feel so inspired and ready for the moment after this moment. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you who've tuned in, I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Toyin will definitely be back. We don't know when, but it will happen. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.